Hello, boozers, and welcome to another edition of Booze Chatter. Today, I've got something interesting. I got something to say, and yes, it's a little political, but you know what? It involves beer, it involves booze, and it involves everybody around that likes to drink in Alberta. Now, understand that I actually enjoy doing and drinking and actually partaking in some beer. I don't mind it. It's actually a lot of, well, it can be social, it can be fun. I love to review it. This is why I'm doing the show. However, just the Alberta government, they chapped my hide a little bit. Recently, we've basically gone into debt. Now, they're projecting that Alberta is going to go 6.1 billion, not million, billion dollars in debt by the end of this year. The reason for this is because of the fact that the country pretty much has kind of shit the bed with everything going on. It's pretty much where we're at a standstill with everything. I'm not happy with the way our government has run things, and at the same point in time, there's not much we can do. So we, as a province, have to sit here and take it up the yin-yang. We've already gone and had one tax hike with what's called the sin tax. And this sin tax is pretty much you tax yourself on booze, smokes, and whatever else they class as a sin. Yet they have as a legal substance. It is kind of disappointing. Like, I do believe the last hike we had was June. And there's people talking about how it could be good, how it could be bad, but it just sort of slid underneath the rug and everything else like that. They did it again recently because we're in so much debt that we have to tax something. Oh, look, we have the sin tax, and we're going to tax you again on booze and smokes and everything else. So things have gone up. Like, for example, smokes have gone up $5 a carton. Okay, that's a lot. There's a lot of people that are just sort of like, oh my God. And this just recently happened this week. They're also taxing the hell out of booze. Now, they're doing this a different way where it can be good for some people and it can be bad for some people. As a reviewer, it's bad for me, because now I have to watch how much I spend because everything's going up on a very variety way of looking at it. There's different ways. Now, before I totally get into this, I haven't opened my first beer yet, and I'm really needing to do this. I've been waiting for a little while. I actually was on another podcast before, or a virtual blog before. Virtual, visual, I don't know, the V-blogs. It tells you how much I really want to drink. So before me, I've got 3 beers sitting here. And it being Halloween, and by the way, to those people out there, happy Halloween, and I'm very, 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 very sorry, but the Tap House of Horror is not coming out. I could not get guests in time. I could not get recording in time. So the Tap House of Horror has been delayed. However, there is an announcement that has been set up that will be broadcasted tonight at midnight about what's coming up soon. I'm not going to spoil it. So, do I want local? Do I want American? Or do I want a neighboring province? Oh, hang on. I've got 2 neighboring provinces, 1 American. Let's go with local. I wanted to try this one for a while. Being that it's Halloween, I am going to go with the Cricketer Tooth. Now, this is out of Phillips Brewing in Victoria, BC. This is a barrel aged, if I remember correctly. No, it's a strong spice beer. Yeah, barrel aged pumpkin ale. This comes in at a strong 7.3% ABV. It's been sitting in my fridge for a little while. I do like to say that Phillips has been hit and miss. They do have another one out that's a 5% called the Crooked Tooth. They've taken off the ER. I went with the stronger one because, well, it's stronger, of course. Duh. So let's give this a quick pop and see how we're doing, shall we? I love this opener. This is such a great opener. If you find anything like this, this is an amazing, amazing little tool. So let's have a look. Grab our trusty glass here. Oh, yeah. Ooh, you smell the spices from here. That's a good sign. Yeah, it's got this, oh, it's got a little spicy, but you also have the pumpkin smell, like a pumpkin seed smell. I'd say a little touch of nutmeg, maybe. Spices. It's got spices in there. I'm not going to pick apart the spices. I'm just going to go with it. By the way, for anyone who's watching, chat is on. I'm watching it very deeply and intently. Maybe. Depends on how drunk I get. I might just stop watching it after I drink some more. So, it's actually got a really good smell. I'm kind of looking forward to this. Dark golden, light head that keeps staying. It looks like it could be good. Let's have a look, shall we? And a taste. Cheers, guys. Happy Halloween. I'm really looking forward to the trick-or-treaters. Ooh, wow. So you get the barrel aged. You get the woody oakness of it. It's smooth, silky. Little touch of the alcohol on it. Not bad. Like, this is actually quite good. I'm quite enjoying this. That is delicious. That actually is how I would class an upper class pumpkin beer. This is actually really quite good. I don't know if I want to continue talking or continue drinking because this is that good. Oh, silky smooth, oaky, just gorgeous. We do get a pumpkin and a spice taste on it too. So it is an actual pumpkin ale. I'm really liking this. This is actually quite good. However, we do have to get onto the topic at hand. So, bear with me here for a second. So, let's see. On May 25th, 2015, they were going to an increase with the sin tax in Thursday's budget. See, and this is the thing, it's now officially gone up more. So, cost of cigarettes goes up by $5 a carton. Case of 12 beers goes up 24 cents. Doesn't seem like much, but there's more to this story than meets the eye. This is just basically covering a very small, broad coverage of it. As far as consumers are concerned, the effect of this increase should be minimal, said Bill Robinson, President and CEO of the Alberta Gaming and Liquor Commission. There's a reason why it's minimal. There's a reason for all this. A lot of people are not going to find out about this because they don't know. They're just blanketing some of this. But I'm going to get into this a little deeper because I'm that kind of asshole at times. And since I'm drinking, I'm going to be even more of an asshole. So starting Wednesday, liquor markups increased by 5%, so consumers will pay 2 cents more for a bottle of beer on top of the 8 cents added in the March budget, and 18 cents more in the bottle of wine on top of the 16 cents added in March. So if you hear this correctly, 18 cents more on a bottle of wine, yet only 2 cents more on a bottle of beer. They're talking between domestic and international. Did you see the price difference there? Because you look at it, 2 cents more in a bottle of beer on top of the 8 cents added in March. Okay, so that's 10 cents. Now for wine, it's 18 cents more for a bottle of wine on top of the 16 cents added in March. That is 34 cents difference, okay? So that's a big margin. Plus, this time it's more than it is for what it was before, whereas beer is less than what it was before. You can't just add a percentage onto a tax and then just say, okay, well, it's less for this one, but it's more for this one. But they did, and this is how they did it. The budget says the markup structure was refined to promote made in Alberta products. Here's the catch right there. Made in Alberta products. Pardon me. One craft beer expert said the Alberta government shifted the beer playing field on Tuesday. Yes, they did. In short, the new policy does 3 key things, right? Jason Foster in a blog post. First, restricts the small brewer markup to breweries based in Alberta, BC, and Saskatchewan. Not necessarily true. All other breweries must pay the full rate, regardless of size. Again, not necessarily true. Second, the small brewer rate will now be graduated, meaning the increased rates will apply only to production above the threshold. There it is. Not all production was previously the case. Third, the full rate went up by 5 cents to $1.25 per liter. Okay, here, and I've been sort of looking at this and I'm going over this. This is the catch-22 with all this stuff, folks. This is what's going on. They're saying that we won't be paying unless it is over and above the threshold. They're talking about ABV, they're talking about size, and they're talking about brewery size and how much they produce per hectoliter. Okay? 3 things right there. This is what a lot of people aren't seeing in this report. Robson said recent policy changes will help small manufacturers, should encourage more startups. Yes, it should, but you have to get into that to have the startups. You've got these big guns out there, and you've got the Alberta government that will say either yay or nay, and it's up to the Brewers Association, it's up to the Alberta, and it's also up to the Alberta Gaming and Liquor Commission to say yay or nay for the startup. Now, it's not saying that you're going to have an easy startup in Alberta. Let's continue, shall we? The model is built on a graduated system, he explained. Essentially, the focus of the model is to give small brewers and startups at the front of the system, from 0 to 10,000 hectoliters, an opportunity to get started and grow. If, as well, you do it at a 5% ABV. I will explain in a bit. As you grow and you produce more, the graduated system allows you to move up and pay more taxes. So, said Robinson. So essentially, the more you make, it grows by a small amount as you get up to the $1.25. Those are larger brewers who produce over 200,000 hectoliters. So right now, Big Rock, for example, in Alberta is going to be paying the $1.25 because they are producing over 200,000 hectoliters. They just have a way of getting around it. However, this is my opinion. Again, This is not what I was told by any brewery or anything else like that. This is just my opinion. Because they produce over 200,000 hectoliters a year in craft beer, regular beer, and also for subsidiaries. They still put their name on it, so they still have to pay that tax. The markup rates also continue to make it cost more effective for small producers to get their products in the hands of local consumers. Only if they can get it out of their own brew pub, brewery, or anything else like that, they have to really promote their product, and it has to go again against the Liquor and Gaming Commission. He said Alberta consumers will benefit the most from these policy changes. No, he said it should read like this. He said people who buy Alberta products will benefit the most from these policy changes. Again, I will explain in a bit. So, however, some folks in the food and service industry aren't as pleased with the changes. I'm one of them. Restaurant bar owners and other food service operators in Alberta are struggling with the rising food and liquor and labor costs combined with the slowdown in consumer spending. This is where the catch-22 comes in. This is where things get real, okay? Because they don't get the customers yet. They have to pay more in taxes for the beers. For example, I'll explain in a bit. Sorry, we're going to continue reading this. I'll tell you more in a minute. The government also produced a job creation incentive program that will provide a grant up to $5,000 per new hire beginning in 2016. But that doesn't go for the people that, so if you hire someone new, you get $5,000. Whoop-de-dang. Beginning in 2016. So maybe I might actually try and get this into a paid job. We'll have to see. While the new program is welcome, it does not change the business reality, said Vanswas. If costs continue to rise while revenues continue to fall, it'll be very difficult for employers to take advantage of the new job creation incentive, which is very true. You may not be able to enjoy this as much as you want to. However, there's a lot of howevers in here. The hospital industry was pleased the government continues to reject the idea of introducing a sales tax. Sorry, did I say hospital? Hospitality. Sorry. Gotta wet my whistle again. Oh, that is so good. I love my barrel-aged beers. And this is one of the better barrel-aged. Oh, silky smooth. So good, silky smooth. Thank you, Phillips. Thank you. So, what does this mean for everybody? Well, it means a lot. It means that people like Toolshed will be able to enjoy this. Give me a second, I'm trying to find it. Because Toolshed actually jumped on this, okay? It was one of those things that they actually are very happy about. So, as it says here in another article, Alberta budget 2015, craft brewers thrilled with the lower tax on local beer. Not all craft brewers, if you ask me. Some Alberta craft brewers say they are thrilled with the changes made in the recent provincial budget. NDP has lowered the markup and liquor tax on local beer, which expected to allow the Alberta craft market industry to grow past 20,000 hectoliters a year. Which, okay, it's a good thing. Trust me, that is actually good because we're supporting local. That being said, I'm going to continue. Jeff Orr, co-founder of Jeff Orr, co-founder of Toolshed Brewing Company, said it will give them a better shelf presence on the store shelves if the stores allow them to put their stuff on there, which is fine because the markups are down, their prices are showing better, and their product can move faster over other beers. I can see where they're going with this, and I can understand that. Still not happy though. He says before they could only before they could only grow to a certain point, and then taxes became cumbersome. Or says now they can look past that and build on their success. And Toolshed does do some great beers. They have some great beers in Alberta, and there's a lot of breweries that do some great beers in Alberta here. Okay. He says that it'll keep the markets moving and the beer flowing to thirsty Albertans. Now, if you remember in that last article, it said that the taxes and everything will be lower to Alberta and neighboring provinces. This does not sound like it's the case. So, and unfortunately, that's all they have on this one. Now, that's the thing. There's a lot of comments of back and forth, and people are getting slammed for this shit. Steam Whistle Pilsner. Seriously, Steam Whistle. Okay, here's one of the comments from Steam Whistle, who is out of Toronto. Not all craft brewers are happy with this. Why does the Alberta government want to build barriers between craft beer brethren across the country in an industry segment characterized by camaraderie and collaboration? Here we go. This is where people are pissed off. Why would the Alberta government now treat legitimate Canadian entrepreneur companies as though they were the import aggressors, meanwhile providing minimal tax impact to big domestic brewers who channel the profits out of Alberta to foreign-owned parent companies? Learn more about our reaction here. Steam Whistle, folks. This is Steam Whistle. So I'm going to go there, and we're going to find out. Let me just do something here. So here's what I've got going on. This is actually a good point. It really is, because Steam Whistle is out of Toronto. I would like to say that these guys are actually really good in their product too. Like, these guys are really good in the beer. They have one beer. That's it. One stinking beer. And they do really well in their stuff. Now, it's going to cost them more to import from Toronto all the way to Calgary, or Alberta for that matter, because of these taxes. So they are ousting anyone outside of the group, aside from possibly BC and Saskatchewan, maybe. This is the thing. I'm kind of confused about this as a reviewer. So I've opened up this other one. However, we've got some replies. Are you kidding? It's not about subsidizing an entire industry. Alberta taxpayers are not going to subsidize all Canadian craft breweries, just the Alberta ones. If you want a tax credit, talk to your Ontario government. Okay, that's true. But when you're acting locally and provincially and nationally, there should be some sort of things, because they're saying that it's Alberta, BC, and Saskatchewan, so the neighboring provinces. Why go and say it's only these three, yet BC doesn't reap the profits, the profits from it. Saskatchewan doesn't reap oh my God, I'm learning how to speak again. And I'm live. This is awesome. The profits from it. Alberta does. So there's a little discrepancy here. I'm not entirely happy about this. The Alberta government's job isn't to look out for larger Ontario producers, especially when Ontario government won't load Alberta products into the Ontario market. That's not true. That is not true, because they will let some of the Alberta product into Alberta. They just have to do it in a regulated way. Like, they can't have big bombers. They can't have 24 packs. They can only be cases. They can only be cans and everything else like that. Because we do get Ontario products into Alberta, it's a win-win situation back and forth. I do have to probably look up on that, and I probably could be wrong on that. However, this is the whole thing that's going on. So from there, I am going to, and this is on Steam Whistle's website, Alberta government divides Canada into East versus West with its first regional beer tax hike. Steam Whistle Brewing and other independent Canadian craft breweries were blindsided yesterday by the Alberta government triple-pronged changes to beer markups, in which seeks to take $39 million from consumers' pockets via higher alcohol prices. See, this is the thing. You've got black, you've got white, you've got gray. Then you have the fucking taxes. What is most objectionable is the new us versus them protectionist measures for the new West Partnership, favoring only Alberta, BC, and Saskatchewan-based craft brewers to the exclusion of craft breweries from the rest of Canada in an unprecedented and device legislated guideline, which is affecting me. Overnight, Alberta, BC, and Saskatchewan craft brewers will benefit from the graduated tax system. And I've got to put on my glasses. I'm sorry, folks. I'm having troubles reading this. At a blended average of 48 cents per liter on an annual worldwide production below 200,000 hectoliters. While other Canadian craft brewers previously taxed on the small producers rate were vaulted into the base tax rate of $1.25 per liter. This is where it's going to get fucking ugly. This represents a 260% increase in taxation to the Canadian craft producers, while foreign-owned domestic producers like Molson Labatt only saw a 5 cents per liter or 4.2% tax hike in Alberta. Excuse the cat, she's just trying to get attention. Why does the Alberta government want to build barriers between craft beer brethren across the country? And I think we heard this. Pardon me. Why would the and he goes on to say, why would you want to build barriers? Bravo, fucking bravo. Steam Whistle Brewing has been an outspoken advocate for the craft brewing industry in Canada as the leading independent craft brewer in its home province, as the founding member of current and chair of its industry association, the Ontario Craft Brewery Association. While Steam Whistle's co-founders have helped small Canadian-owned brewers gain much-needed shelf space and profile with its retailers, in other words, working with everybody, gain much-needed shelf space, has lobbied for small business tax relief and has helped to educate Canadian beer drinkers about the traditional brewing methods, all natural ingredients, and community supportive ethos of small producers. Alberta does the same thing. Okay, I'm not gonna fault them on that. They do the same thing. They do educate a lot. All these brewers do that. Ontario does that. Saskatchewan does that. Manitoba is working on that. BC, holy fuck, they're growing into that big time. This new measures will hurt the beer consumer's wallet and choice in Alberta. Agreed. I, as a reviewer, absolutely fully agree with this. And it's pissing me off. Like I said, I love to support local. But as a reviewer, this is pissing me off. The new beer tax legislation will have a dramatic and immediate impact on prices in liquor stores and bars and restaurants. Yes, it will. As an example, overnight Alberta has imposed an additional $6.05 in beer tax per 24 pack in Steam Whistle Pilsner. $6.05 for a fucking Canadian beer. Like I said, this is where I, as a reviewer, am getting pissed off. And $37 per 50-liter keg. $37. We have how many fucking craft breweries here and how many craft bars here that you pay $37? You have so many local beers that they're going to start going local, and we're going to get less choice of international and also national beers because they're not going to want to pay that. They're going to pull their fucking product, which means it's going to hurt people like me trying to get fucking beers to review to you guys. Sorry. Meanwhile, Labatt and Molson products have only gone up 48 cents per 24 pack. Do they have a brewery in Alberta anymore? The one in Calgary's closed down. Edmonton might have one. But at the same point in time, they're a major fucking brewery. They should be paying the $1.25 per liter. But they're not. How are they skirting this? Why are they skirting it? And what is it that they've got going that doesn't make them pay for this? Their major brewery, their major head office is not in Alberta. It is in Ontario. How are they skirting this? Sorry. This is the stuff that kind of pisses me off. These are the loopholes that really piss me off. Albertans already hit by a struggling oil-based economy will feel this as they are a province of beer drinkers consuming 68.15 liters per capita. I contribute to that fully and completely. 7.6% more than the Canadian average. We like to drink. We like to drink our beer. We like to drink our Canadians and Labatt's. That's how they're getting away with this shit. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, guys. This is the kind of stuff that really pisses me off because, yes, I'm a reviewer, and this stuff, this is just nationally. I haven't even touched internationally yet. I haven't touched what other thing I have found out yet. Sorry. 1 second here. It's one of those things. So Alberta has been has long been the most open market in Canada for beer retailing. The only province with no government-run liquor stores, which is true. The free market system, which has meant unprecedented choice on store shelves for Alberta beer consumers, but the new tax structure will impose hardship on small producers from outside the new West Partnership. And even further, international is going to really fucking hurt from this. And I'll explain in a bit. Sorry, guys. I just want to get through this. Through lower sales, which will limit selection to consumers going forward. As a reviewer, this pisses me off. This is the second time this year that retailers and producers will have been impacted by the overnight pricing changes from the Alberta government's alcohol tax grab, the sin tax, the I'm going to take your money away. Why don't they do this to pop, to chips, to candy, to ice cream, to that sort of shit that's sinful too, that gets you fat, not just alcohol and smokes. Get a fucking grip, Alberta. In March of this year, an additional 8 cents per liter tax was already levied, but they didn't go and say that the Alberta consumer can actually benefit from their local beers. This new tax measures will hurt the hospitality industry in Alberta. We've already heard this, and we've already heard that part. New tax measure will hurt Canadian craft beer breweries operating in Alberta while boasting of foreign-owned domestic producers. This will have a lasting impact on the Canadian economy. This is fact. This is true, because we've got people like 49th Parallel bringing in product from BC, from Saskatchewan, but from also Ontario. I will not be probably seeing much more from this company. Parallel 40 or Flying Monkeys. I will probably not be seeing more from this company. Garrison Brewing. Yes, I know it's the same bottle. I will probably be seeing more from this company. Phillips, and they're hit or miss. I absolutely love my Flying Monkeys beer. I absolutely enjoy other things. I like my Driftwood, but it's BC owned. Samuel Adams. Yes, spoiler alert, that's my other beer I have here. Samuel Adams is going to go up as well. And I like seeing this. However, it's not just going to go up per liter. I have also heard that the price is going to go up as of an ABV as well. Alcohol by volume. If it's over 5%, it is going to go up in price too because of this fucking tax. This is what people haven't said anything about. How do I know this? Well, the great thing about being a reviewer is you've got a lot of people that you can talk to. Some people just didn't want to get back to me on time, and I totally understand that. Tin Whistle, well, not Tin Whistle. Okay, all these names I got in my head, I'm really sorry. I am frustrated, and I'm upset right now. This is the most frustrated I've been in a while. But like for Steam Whistle, I feel their pain. I really do. As a reviewer, I now have to pay this exorbitant price if I want to have a beer from Ontario. If I want to have a beer from Manitoba or anywhere else, I have to pay this exorbitant price. And it sucks. It really does suck. It's just one of those ones that I just don't like. I really don't. It's not a good thing. It's a bad thing. And it's going to hurt reviewers like myself who live in Alberta. We can't get these fine beers anymore. It's going to hurt the craft beers of Willow Park and of craft sellers and even Sundance, who's a small market that won't be able to afford to bring things in because people won't pay that price. Now, I did say something about the price going up during an ABV. So, I really want to open up one of these other beers, but that is fucking good, and I really want to keep drinking that. However, before I continue on, let's look at the one that I said and I showed you. Welcome to Samuel Adams. This is the last time it's probably going to be this cheap. It is an 8.5% ABV. It is the Fat Jack Double Pumpkin Ale. Let's find out how it is. I'm frustrated. I really am. Like this right now, guys. I understand that we're supporting local and we need to put money back into it. We're in a $6.1 billion deficit. I got that. I really do. Because we had a changeover in government, and the government went, well, we got all these promises, we're going to have to make them now. But at the same point in time, the government beforehand was still spending our money like there was no tomorrow, and we were losing oil costs and everything else. Because for the people that don't know, the oil and gas industry has hurt Alberta. I have said in my other videos to support local, and I totally still say support local. But with this new tax, It's killing the other stuff like the East beers. I love the East beers. I love the U.S. beers, and that's going to cost more, including because you have to bring it across the border. It's going to fucking kill. Pardon me. So, that being said, let's give this sucker a pour and find out how it is. I want to go back to the other one. You don't get much of a pumpkin smell out of this one. You really don't. It's not bad. It's better. I've had better. Yeah, it's not bad. Okay. So the smell, it's got a plasticky smell. A little bit of spice. Maybe a tiny bit on the nose, a little pumpkin. I don't know, but it's supposed to be a double pumpkin. Dark. Head's very minimal on it. So cheers, folks. I'll continue my rant in a second after this. I'm really sorry. It had to be said. It's not bad. It's decent. Got a small spice flavor to it. Pumpkin-y a little bit, but not much. There's a candy taste in there that I just can't get. It's out of place almost. It's just not exactly that good for a candy taste anyways. I want to go back to the Crooked Tooth. I like that one. That one's good. Okay. Until let's continue. So the Crooked Tooth, I give it a 4.5 out of 5. That is a very good beer. This one, 3. Sorry, Sam Adams. Not quite the style I would like in a pumpkin beer. But that, once again, that's just me. Are you ready? Should I get back to my ranting? Should I get back to my raving? I don't know what to say here, folks. So I was talking to one of the distributors for the beers that come in with the good stuff. So 49th Parallel has been around for a bit. They've got some great stuff out of Saskatchewan. They've got some great stuff out of BC, and they bring in other things as well. Flying Monkeys is one of them as well. I think they bring in. There's a lot of product that they bring in. I didn't have time to fully research of all the stuff that they bring in. So what we have from them is actually quite an interesting conversation I had with them over Twitter. I didn't know who I was talking with them, but at the same point in time, these guys, they're going to hurt. This is on the other end of the scale. So we've got the Alberta Brewers Association, the small Alberta Brewers Association, which is it's going to benefit from it. So people like Toolshed's going to benefit from it. People like Last Best Brewing has just come up, is going to benefit from it. Arrowhead, if I remember correctly, is out of Edmonton. Alley Cat's going to benefit from it. So these small brewers are actually going to benefit from it because it's less tax overall. However, I just have to say that, as I said before, as a reviewer, I'm not liking this. I will support local. I will always support local. That's not a problem. But as a reviewer, I like to have my variety. I like to have my national. I like to have my international. I like to have my world-class beers come in at a cost that's not going to cost me an arm and a leg. And with this new tax, it is. It's going to cost me an arm and a leg, and maybe some, pardon me, and maybe some internal organs too. Because of the way they've structured this, they're helping the local market. The way they have structured this, they're not helping the international market. So we may not see Chimay in there anymore. We may not see Trappist Rochefort 10s in there anymore because people are not going to buy it. We may not see these fucking 16% beers from Rogue anymore because people aren't going to buy it. The reason why, and I'm going to throw on my glasses again, because when talking to 49th Parallel, and I quote, some of the price increase are dependent on alcohol by volume and hectoliter brewed for the breweries. So there'll be some price increases, some might even depending on the formula, could drop down a few pennies, which is fine, depending on the formula. We still want to bring in. Okay, so they're trying to bring this stuff in. Great product into Alberta, but we have guidelines to follow like everybody else. Understandable, totally understandable. What blah 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 blah. And if that was an outtake, it would be in the outtake reel. However, it's live. What we will be bringing into Alberta is will definitely be scrutinized so we can try and get the best deal out there for the mass consumption. Try. They're going to try. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to because of the fact that they have to follow these new guidelines that has been set by the Alberta government. Now, I did ask him a few things. Like it's one of those things that I was at lunch at the time and I was actually typing away on my phone. He was very good at answering the questions. Now, I asked what kind of increases the end consumer could possibly see because they're going to see the increases more than the local guys. The local guys are cheering everybody on. Big Rock, I want to see if actually their prices increase or decrease or go up slightly or big, like in a big way because they are not a small brewery. They do over 200 hectoliters a year. Like I mentioned, it depends on the hectoliter brewed per year because I asked what versus alcohol content by volume. So the differences are all over the place depending on the brewery and the type of beer. So if you're looking for a Trappist Rochefort 10, it's going to cost us more to bring in because it is a 11.5% beer and because they produce a massive amount and it's probably over 200 hectoliters. Okay, give me a second. Let's find out how much. Rochefort 10. Let's see what. Wiki Rochefort Brewery. Okay, so we will probably be okay with this one. It's just going to be the ABV that'll be going up because the production output is 18,000 hectoliters. So it's not that much, but they still ship worldwide, so they might be up a little bit more. Let's look at Chimay, for example. Let's see here. And bear with me as I try to find it. So, Chimay, for example. This is where it'd be good to have someone else on here because they can just chat while I'm researching all this shit. Chimay, for example, will go up. They are producing, well, okay, they're still under 200,000 hectoliters. They produce 123,000 hectoliters. And this was I updated probably last year or this year. So they are getting up there. So if they go another 77 hectoliters, they're past it, which will be upping their price by a huge margin. So it's all depending on things. Let's look at Big Rock. Big Rock Brewing, folks. Here we go. Locally, if Big Rock doesn't go up by $1.25 a liter, I will be very shocked and questioning what loophole they found. 45 million. Oh, crap. Okay, that's 45 million liters. So, I think it's 4,500. So 450,000 hectoliters a year. They are past the 200,000 hectoliters. So they are actually going to lose money because of this. Their profits are going to start to drop because people aren't going to pay the $1.25 per liter, or in this case, it'd be $1 per bomber for a price increase. It's going to cost them more for this. Whereas Toolshed's going to be able to enjoy this. So Big Rock's going to suffer a little bit from this. Now, the question is, if that's the case, what about Big Rock Urban? Because it's out of BC, is this going to affect them? Or is it going to not affect them? Are they going to class Big Rock together or separate? Because of the fact that they both have the Big Rock name, there's another brewery in BC that is brewing the same stuff. Is it going to be classed together? Or is it going to be separate, where Big Rock Urban is now going to be cheaper compared to Big Rock Brewery, which is going to cost more? This is the things that I don't want to, well, I want to know, but I haven't found out at press time. So this is the kind of things that you look at. So they're looking at alcohol by volume, they're looking at per liter and everything else. And now they're probably going to tax the shit out of it for coming into Alberta because of the fact that they can. They probably have some hidden things in there that's going to cost more. Pardon me again. Beer does it to me every single time. So, but is this a good thing or is it a bad thing? Well, it could be a good thing and a bad thing. So let's look at Sam Adams Brewery, shall we? Okay, so Sam Adams Brewery bringing their stuff in here. I'm looking for it. Wikipedia, Sam Adams. That's the revenue. That's the number of employees. Sam Adams is going to be paying $1.25 per liter coming in, plus everything else. Because of the fact they are producing 4.8 million hectoliters a year. That, and also the fact that, if I remember correctly, Sam Adams bought out? I can't remember. I could be wrong. But 4.8 million hectoliters. They are going to be costing an extra $1 to bring something like this in. And they are bringing in 6-packs as well, which is going to cost us an extra $1 or $2 as well. Folks, this isn't a good deal. For reviewers like myself, this is not a good deal. For the local breweries and everything else, this is a good deal. People will go out and buy the stuff. They will have a good time doing it, and they will start supporting local because it's cheaper, because people want to spend less. However, it's going to be a tough market for people to bring Alberta beer back into Alberta after all this. You're going to see people like Sam Adams pull out. You're going to see people like Parallel 49 say, no, I'm sorry, we're not going to be involved in your market anymore. We're going to see that kind of stuff where it is going to be East versus West versus United States versus international, because it's going to cost a lot more for these other breweries to bring stuff into Alberta. And that sucks. I'm totally telling you right now, that sucks. As a reviewer, this sucks. I'm not liking this. I really don't like this at all. It's one of those ones where I'm going to have to pay more to review beers for you guys. I can't afford to pay more to review beers for you guys. So I may be stuck with the big three, the BC, the Alberta, and Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan doesn't have that many fucking breweries out there anyways. And if they do, they're shit. I'm sorry, but they're shit. There's some out there that are decent, but they really need to step up their game. Why would you include, for God's sakes, why would you include Saskatchewan into this fucking deal? They don't have that kind of stuff. Include Ontario, where you have a mass production of fucking breweries that can bring the product in. This isn't a good deal. It sucks to be me. It sucks to be any reviewer. It's great for the small breweries. Totally get it. You guys are going to be making a fucking mint. However, it's not going to come back into the deficit that we have, because you guys are paying less and people are going to go with the less over more. It's going to be less of a margin to build into the deficit than you think. So we're going to be taxed more, because when the NDP see it, or the government sees it, for the people who don't know who the NDP is, when the government sees it, they'll be like, well, we're not making that much of a profit. We thought we'd be making this much off of this sin tax. No, you're not, because of the fact that people aren't going to be buying as much. Or when they do buy as much, it's not going to be taxed as much. And it's going to be this versus them. I might actually start looking to see if I can get product shipped to me for free, just so I can review it. Because I'm not going to be spending the extra money to actually have to review it, because I don't get any profit out of it. You guys get to see it. That's great. But I don't see any profit from it myself. I spend more money of my hard-earned money, plus the time I take to review these beers, plus the time I take to actually edit the content for free. And it's going to cost me more to do this. A lot more per liter. I can't afford to go out and have an international beer, because it's going to cost me more per liter to review it. So as a reviewer, this is hurting me a lot more. As a consumer, it's going to hurt them more too, because they won't get to understand what kind of good beers there are out there anymore. You're going to see these shelves more local product, as well as more Molson Canadian and Labatt's, because they can afford not to pay these taxes. And I don't know how the fuck they got through that loophole, because the amount of money that these suckers make in Ontario and the hectoliters that they make in Ontario, someone paid off the government nicely on this. Sorry, that's just my opinion. Speaking of which, Molson Canadian, Wikipedia. Alcohol by volume, 5.0. Actually, let's just go Canadian. Type Canadian lager. Molson Keg. Of course, I'm not going to say. Okay, where is Molson Canadian located? Molson Canadian, Premium Lager, Molson Brewery. Number of employees, 3,000. Headquarters, located in Toronto, Ontario. Yet they don't have to pay this big hike. Why is that? And it doesn't say how many hectoliters they make. But it's a lot because it's a 5% beer. Again, they got through this somehow. They've found a loophole, probably because they're located in different places, that they can say that they're under 200,000 hectoliters. Edmonton, we brew these things for 50,000 hectoliters. Do you believe us? Sorry, Molson, I don't mean to pick on you guys, but you and Labatt's, I don't know how you got through it, but seriously, the craft market, it's gonna hurt. You guys can actually have a fucking win on this one. You really can. Big Rock, how much do you pay? Do you actually now have to pay the $1.25 per liter because you are over 200,000 hectoliters? I would love to hear from you guys. I actually might just send you an email just to follow up. I don't know, guys. Like this is the kind of thing that makes me question what's going on. This is kind of the thing that that really I just don't know. It's one of those ones that I'm upset about. I really am upset about. It's one of those ones that I'm livid. As a reviewer, I'm livid because of the fact that it sucks. It really does suck a lot. Because I don't get to enjoy the fine art of beer, of craft beer. I have to enjoy the fine art of Alberta craft beer. And there's a lot that the Alberta breweries do bring out, but there's also a lot they can learn from these other breweries, and they're going to suffer, and the consumers are going to suffer. Another person, and this is kind of a spoiler alert, craft beer advent calendar, 24 beers from Canada and the United States for $135. $135. Next year, you could probably see that whole thing for $160 to $170 because of the fact that they're going by ABV and per liter. That's 24 beers in there. That's 8.5 liters of beer. That's a lot of increase right there. And they may go just internationally, which will up the cost as well. They may not do any locally, which will up the cost as well. So you can see us paying out the fucking nose for this, whereas BC will be having a good price margin. Saskatchewan will be having a good price margin. Anywhere in Canada that picks us up will be having a good price margin. That sort of shit is not going to be available anymore. That sort of shit is going to be a pain in the ass to buy because of this fucking new tax. Because it's going to be geared around Alberta and not, Alberta, BC, and Saskatchewan, but not anywhere else. This is the kind of stuff that's going to just, it will kind of ruin me as a reviewer. I'm going to have to look at something else. And it's not just beer. It's any alcohol, all booze. We're talking whiskey, we're talking rye, we're talking gin, tonic. Well, not tonic, obviously, because that's a pop. But gin and wine and just everything. And a lot of the good stuff that you find is not in Alberta. A lot of the stuff that you will find is outside of Alberta. Why do you think wine has gone up so much? Because of the fact that it's out of Canada. We're going to see more BC wines. We're going to see more, oh wait, do we make wine? No, we don't. BC wines, Canada wines, But Ontario wines, they're going to cost more than the BC wines. This is the tough part. But I can't just fathom this. This is the one where they're like, well, let's support local. Okay, why don't we do it this way as well? Safeway is out of Calgary, Alberta. Their headquarters is out of Calgary, Alberta. At least one of them. For the western provinces, I think. I think they have another one in Ontario and one down in the States. This is something that they should do as well. They should support local by bringing in local product. You see more USA product. Charge more for the USA product. Bring more local stuff in from Radcliffe, from Medicine Hat, from anywhere else that can support this year round. BC, for example, you bring in the stuff in, you got stuff from BC as well. Just lower the price on it as well. There you go. You got that going for you too. It's just, it costs a lot. And I mean, there's so many things that are going to be up in price, even though it's a small little bit. But the sin tax is killing us. It's going to kill us completely. I can't afford to have my Sam Adams. I can't afford to have everything else, and I really wish I could. For example, one person in the chat asked if we get 1050 up here. Yeah, we get Oscar Blues from Colorado. We get the 1050. It costs $22.85 for a 4-pack. As of a while ago, it's now going to cost us probably close to $25 a 4-pack when everything comes into play, because of the fact that it's 10.5% and it's over a liter. So we're going to have to pay more on it. And that's going to suck totally and completely. It's going to be one of those ones that really, it's a catch-22. And I hate to say it, but I actually am one of those people that, you know, kind of voted this government in because I hated our old one. But it was my fault. Partially my fault. But look at Edmonton. Edmonton went total orange wave on that, which is the NDP, for the people who are watching in the States. And this is what we get. This is the things, the sin tax. Seriously. Again, stop picking on cigarettes, stop picking on booze, start picking on the shit that's also bad for you, like the Coke, the chips, the ice cream, the candy, everything else like that. Put that in as a sin tax as well. Throw those margins up there as well too, because it is a sin to eat that. You get fat from it. I know, I'm fat. I truly commend the smaller breweries for the small win that you guys have. I pity the restaurants, the brew pubs, and everybody, and the liquor stores for what they're about ready to have to go with. This is the second increase since May. This one's going to hurt more because it's local. It's adhering to local mostly. And it's one of those ones where you just want to wring someone's neck going, what the fuck are you thinking? But that's just me. I would love to say that this is going to be a good thing, and it's going to be a partial good thing, but the majority of me being a reviewer, it's going to be a bad thing. I can't agree to this. I can't like it. I can't enjoy it like I enjoy a good beer. I can't enjoy it because it's going to cost me to enjoy a beer more money. I mean, look, for example, if you saw my review on the Mango Ale, $19.80 for a 5.5% beer because it had Voodoo Donuts on there as well. $19.80 is now going to be $21.50 because of this new tax. That's if they don't drop the price down and make it more marginable. It's still going to cost a lot, but you know, it's those type of things that you're going to see sit on the shelf for a very long time because people aren't going to spend the money to buy that. I'd spend the money to buy this a lot. And for the people who are just joining me, this is the Phillips Crooketer Tooth, and oh God, it's good. Overall, as I said before, and I'm repeating myself a lot, small breweries, congratulations. Big win for you. Well, small win. Small win for you guys. 49th Parallel Importing Group, craft importers, big loss. Big loss, and I'm really sorry for this. Hopefully you still bring the product in. Hopefully you find a way to make it affordable for the people like myself to actually enjoy it and review it at a reasonable margin so that I can tell people of Alberta, tell people all around YouTube that they can enjoy it. Overall, this isn't going to fix our deficit. We need more. We need to do stuff for pop, chips, and everything else like that. Make a sin a big sin. Smokes, yeah, $5 on a carton. Got it. Cool. But that's not smokes. This is booze, and a lot of booze. And I got a lot of booze around me, and I'm gonna get drunk tonight because of you fuckers. Yeah, I'm sorry guys, but as much as I like to side with the small breweries of Alberta, I can't. As a reviewer, it's hurting me. It's gonna hurt me a lot. And I like to say to the people that actually watch me worldwide, from England, from USA, from Canada, there's not many of you, but there's still people from around the world that watch me. I'm going to do my best to review as many beers from around the world as I can without being gouged an arm and a leg. I'm going to try and find my own loophole around this because it's going to cost me a lot. So, for the people out there, and I'm really sorry for this, but I'm going to have to let you go on this note. I will do my best. Coming up at midnight tonight, November 1st, there's going to be a new video out, and it's going to be a teaser. What kind of teaser are we talking about? Well, you're going to have to wait and see. December is going to be a huge month for me. It's going to be a huge month for booze reviews. It usually is. It's going to be our third year doing a huge month. Guess what? I just kind of, you know. But overall, I'd like to say thank you for watching. I'm really sorry about this long-winded rant. I'll post all the links of what I quoted at the bottom. Steam Whistle, you and I are going to talk because I feel you guys really hit it on the head with this whole fucking East versus West thing. And I'm really sorry you guys have to go through this, but maybe we can talk and we can see about finding some way of making sure your product gets promoted on the West, because I still like everyone's shit over in the East, and I hate the fact that I have to fucking pay more for it because of the goddamn syntax. It's a syntax error to me. And for those geeks out there who got that, congratulations. So for now, folks, I'm PK. There is going to be no Frankenbrew today because I will try and do something later on, maybe, to try and get something off for you. I've been PK. No, I haven't been PK. I've been PK. I thank you for watching, and once again, I'm really, really sorry for ranting like this, but as a reviewer, I had to say it. Cheers, folks. Stay frosty. Happy Halloween. Don't eat too much candy because there's going to be kids knocking at your door soon, and we'll see you real soon. Hopefully, I can get more beers here that don't cost a fucking arm and a leg. Thanks, government. You guys rock. Have a good night, folks.